All right, I have another dead game here. Definitely a dead game. This game is both a kind of tile warfare instead of miniatures warfare, and you've got the card gaming aspect as well. This was the game Anachronism by TriKing Games. It has the History Channel blurb on there, but literally it's from TriKing Games. And the premise was very simple. You had a set of cards that you got when you got a pack. You didn't just get a pack. It would come with a character, and that character would specifically come with an inspiration card, a weapon card, a armor card. This is the weirdest armor ever because it's an article, a written article. Then you get things that were special effects. This one's just a location, her pirate fort. They were usually based off of different nations. And it was very strange because not all nations are represented. It's just based on what they had in history. And so the history people who made this game had their various different favorites. I'll see if I can come up with here. So she's technically an Irish and a pirate. Well, all the pirates were double nationalities. But what we had here, when the game first came out, the first set was Greek. There's a Greek card for you. Japanese, Norse, there's a Norse card, and Roman. I have a Roman gladius here as well. Second set that came out was the British. Here is a British card for you. The Chinese, Egyptians. There's an Egyptian card. The Mongolians. Third set was French, Germans. Here's a German card. Funny, it has a Latin title, but still. Native Americans. Here's the old Stormcrow. Scottish. Fourth set was Irish, Maori. Oh, here's an Irish card for you. Maori, Persian, then Russian. Then in the fifth set they had Aztecs. They re-released the Japanese. And that was the cool thing. I'll talk about that in a second. But they released the Japanese, so you had more Japanese coming. They call it Saracens, but pretty much the people of Islam. And you had also the Spanish. Here's a one they have. Tomas de Torquemada. Yeah. So, Spanish Inquisition, right there. Sixth set was the Chinese. They introduced pirates, and I've shown you pirate cards, but they're the pirate cards. They did Romanians, not Romans twice. They did Romanians. Had the Turks as well. And then for their seventh set, they had Frontier United States, and they had another shot of the Greeks. They had the tribes of Israel. We just called them the Jews because it's quicker to say. And then the Trojans. So the Greeks and Trojans were there. This game, it only lasted from 2004, 2006. They supposedly released other card sets in 2007. It's like text things where you could take this text, put it on cards, and play them as if they were the cards. But, come on. We bought it because we had these cards. The games were so hilariously short. 5 to 10 minutes is what it says officially. You could easily end a game in like 8 to 15 minutes if you were dawdling and just having fun. My collection is kind of odd because I got the Japanese, which had the benefit of having 2 different releases. And then I really liked Guan Yu, and so I had the Chinese, and what do you know? I had the benefit of 2 different releases. So I have this huge stack of Chinese guys there. I have every Japanese card. I don't have every Chinese card. I think I'm missing like 1 or 2. I got the Mongols because I only get one release of the Mongols, but hey, I wanted the full Emperor of all Asia going on. So I had the full Asian alliance going on with Anachronism. And then, of course, I picked up the full brick of Maori. Might as well, stay with that side of the world and have the Maori jump in. And then, of course, they didn't release too many of my, favorite Eastern peoples. And so I eventually got in. I got the tribes of Israel just as well. It's kind of funny because my other choices when they came out with the tribes of Israel was to get Greeks, Trojans, or Americans. So it's like, well, I bought the Jews because they're kind of cool cards. They do some weird stuff. But let me show you the basics here. So here's a ninja, and yes, he's like the only generic personality in the entire set. So here's a ninja. I'm going to see if I can make it not reflect too hardly. You'll notice on the very top there's like a grid. There's a little element-looking symbol. His, I think, says air. That thing with the heart is how much life he has. That thing with the wings is how many actions he gets per turn. That thing with the little Biblios tablet, that is your experience level. And most characters only did 1 point of damage. That's what the spiky ball is damage. So, as you can tell, he's got traits on top. He's Japanese. He's a warrior. Well, of course he's a warrior. He's not like an inspiration or special. It also gives him a gender. Haha, yes, the gender matters. This ninja, despite the fact he's generic, is male. He's not a kunoichi. So yeah, sorry about that. If you wanted kunoichi running around. There are female characters in this game. There really are. But male stuff matters because they released an Aphrodite card. It's funny. It gives you -3 experience but +1 speed. Yeah, women kind of have that effect on guys. But anyway, so you have a special effect and it tells you, what it does. This grid tells you where you are on the board. Let me show you. That little arrow there is going to be your card position. And it matters where he's facing too. Then those little negatives tell you how much you get to your dice roll when you're attacking in that grid. It sounds really nasty because you don't have all the options in the world. He's at -1 with everything. Well, if you strap a weapon onto him, let me find a weapon. What do you know? A ninja toe. So the ninja could then strap on a ninja toe, and as you can see, he could attack with his weapon. Usually you're restricted to 1 weapon attack per turn, but he gets a +1 with a 2 arc. So if he's in that one grid, see the grid there? If he's in that one grid, he gets a -1 basic, and then +1 in 2 different directions. He can attack people at once if he wants to. There are multiple player versions of the game, but yeah. So that's how that went. And you notice this thing showed up all of a sudden? That's the initiative value. I'll show you in a bit how this game was actually played, but it's a crazy little adventure of a game. There's no real collectability other than if you bought the pack, you own what comes in that pack. And technically, any warrior can use any weapon, any special, any armor, any inspiration. Technically, you could put multiple weapons in a deck. There's one guy who had a deck where it's just weapons, but you can't have 2 weapons in play unless you get a special rule that says you can. So if you draw 1 weapon, then you draw a second weapon, you usually discard the first weapon you drew. So keep that in mind. And I think he only drew weapons that had first turn effects, where if you had them around for longer, it wouldn't do much. Like this turn, this weapon gains +1 damage. So why keep it around next turn? Draw another weapon. So that's what his tactic was. But yeah, there was a really cool thing we did, and I was actually in tournaments for this. It wasn't too great, but still. They had a thing called Culture Shock, and Culture Shock was the thing people preferred to do, where you could play with your character and any other cards you wanted to, but they had to all come from the same culture. Doing that, the Greeks, the Japanese, and the Chinese, waha, all had the greater power because they had 8 characters plus promotionals available, whereas most nations only had 4 characters plus any promotionals. The Japanese had it even better than that because the promo pack for this game, when it was first being advertised in like a magazine, was Miyamoto Musashi versus Beowulf. So the Japanese got +1 on top of promos, on top of everything else. So the Japanese are really stacked. And I got them because I'm kind of a weeb, but honestly speaking, if there are people who power gamed who got the Japanese, I actually liked mixing them a little bit. Like I would take the Maori guys, I would keep their specials, I would keep their inspirations, and I'd keep their warriors, but I'd give them Japanese weapons and armor. That was a really cool combination because you could have these burly Polynesian guys using katanas and wearing samurai armor. How cool is that? Yeah, the game was kind of cool. It's based on history-ish. Some of the card things don't make sense. Like, some of them do. Like, there's a bunch of jokes. But there's this one thing where someone would throw a rock and it would pin someone. The heck? I mean, one character was strong enough to throw that rock, but they have the rock in, so anybody can throw the rock. Right? Weird. I don't see a ninja throwing a giant rock. I don't see Attila the Hun throwing a giant rock. This guy might get away with throwing a giant rock, but who knows? So let's set up a game field here. They actually gave you a map, and it's a bit big. Actually, I can fit it under the camera here. There's a bunch of paper up here that has like the basic rules and card requirements, whatnot. But this is what you really needed to play. And as you can see, it's like a tile game. You've got a 4x4 grid that your guys actually encounter on. So let's say I'm going to go ahead and have some fun here. I'm going to grab going to grab a ninja. I want to do Hattori Hanzo instead. No, let's do just basic ninja. Basic ninja. So we're going to give him a ninja toe. We're going to give him a shuriken first, though, for reasons. And then we're going to go with now notice this is a special, and this is a special too, so this one's going to get discarded. And then we're going to give him an Amaterasu card as well. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And the ninja can start anywhere, really. You have a starting row. And then you place your first card. We'll do this card, and then we'll do this card and this card. I just realized. So we'll do that. And then we're going to be kind of fun. I'm going to pick a Maori guy. So we're going to go with Ariki, since he's a cool guy. And he's a front and left character. So he fights in the front, no, front and right character, with a little bit of fighting on the right. There's the boat, and his inspiration, Hawaii is his inspiration. I'm going to give him a Japanese Jindachi, two-handed sword. And so I'm going to give him some Haidate armor, which is just skirt armor. So that's going to be the armor order for this guy. So we're going to start him straight off against his opponent, because that's how Ariki works. Let's go with that first. Let's go with that. Have that and that. So what you would do is at the start of the turn, I guess you'd roll off to see which side goes first. And so the Maori is going to be the golden, and the blood color is going to be the ninja. We're going to go ahead and roll. Winner of that one goes solidly to the blood color. So the ninja rolls up his card. He gets a shuriken at 8. He has an initiative value of 8. Now, at the same time, he flips over his. He gets an initiative rating of 1. He gets an initiative rating of 8. Oh, that's right. You don't go by dice roll. Dice roll is just for attacks. I forgot about that. So you explode them both, and here the 8 beats the 1. Make a basic attack at 0 against any warrior that's not adjacent to your warrior. And that's an action. So he's going to sit there and go and throw shurikens at Ariki there. Ariki has this card, though. When you are attacked, your defense roll gains +1 if you have more experience than the attacker. Well, it's his thing. His experience rating is 5. The basic ninja, so he just got experience rating of 2. So he gets +1 to his defense rolls. So like I said, the gold's going to go for the Maori, and the blood goes for the ninja. Let's see how this turns out. The first attack, the ninja fails to hit, even with the +1. That's a solid 12. Doubles that match cause critical hits in this game. It doesn't do so much on the defense side, but sometimes it does. Then, here I am moving the entire board. So, we have a second attack coming from the ninja. Because it's an action, right? You can just do the action as long as he has actions to work, right? Yeah, it doesn't have, because usually we give a number here. Let me show you what it says. It has an action rating here. It doesn't have a number after it, just says make a basic attack. So basic attacks, you can make as many of those as you have speed actions or speed ratings left. So he's good to throw as many shuriken as he wants. The good news is that Ariki has a +1 bonus to defense, which isn't great, but it's kind of what you expect in this game. This game doesn't have humongous bonuses. Sometimes they do, which when you find one of those, you're like, ah, crap. So roll off these. So the Maori, once again, deflected the ninja without trying. And the ninja throws one last throwing star. That goes in the favor of the Maori due to his armor, so he's glad he pulled armor his first turn. Now, his initiative is gone. He went on initiative value 8, so his initiative is gone. He's blasted. Ariki is not going to screw around. I'm thinking the best thing to do with this guy is to just walk up and slap him in the face. So he's going to go 1, 2, that's 2 actions, so 2 of his speed gets taken up. Third action is to roll an attack. He's just going to see if he can thump the ninja with his basic 1 point of damage. Does he actually have a special ability? Once each round, when you hit with a bludgeon, the defender has no armor in play. The defender's next roll gets... So my attack with bludgeon weapons gets +1. Oh, he's not the best guy to carry his sword, is he? Whoops. Well, you know what? I'm just showing you stuff. So he'd roll and attack back at you. And so see here, this time he matches... There's a +1 there. The ninja doesn't get any... Man, his attacks deal +1 damage when you are not in the defending opponent's basic attack grid. That's great. But yeah, he has no defensive bonuses. He has an offense bonus of +1. So this essentially, this is 6, goes to the Maori guy. And so the Maori guy hits him for a point of damage. So he is now down from 7 to 6. And then how you'd run the next turn is, if you flip a card, he gets 8 with his Jindachi. Nice time to draw a blade. He draws Kimura Kona, a smoke grenade. You may move to any space in your starting row. Well, he's a ninja, he's going to be a dick, so he's going to move over here. And he has an initiative value of 4, but Ariki has an initiative value of 8. And I do believe the Jindachi has special abilities. And when you hit with this weapon, the attacker and the defender each roll 1 die and add his or her warrior's experience. Ha ha ha! If your total is higher, your attack rolls gain +1 for the rest of the game. So, he's going to spend 2 actions stepping over here, and then he's going to hit the ninja. The ninja gets a turn after he does, because 8 versus 4. Ninja goes next, so that ninja's kind of screwed. So he's going to roll off. He gets it's a +2 weapon. You can see by dragging the weapon out here. It's a +2 weapon. So it's a +2 weapon, and it'll strike the ninja here. And it does 2 damage. Most weapons do more damage than base damage of 1. So that attack roll results in blaring good success for the Maori guy, and Ariki strikes the ninja for 2 points of damage, plus they get the roll off, add their experience. So it's essentially a +3 roll for Ariki. Ninja is not stopping him from doing that. So his attack rolls, his weapon are going to get a +1 for future rest of the game. Very good weapon. And that's how it goes. You keep flipping like turn 3. Like the ninja's probably going to run away. Let's say the ninja just runs the hell away, right? Because as a reveal action, he poofed. He ran away. Or even better, run here and attack once. Doesn't do much. I think these dice hate the ninja. The ninja probably wanted to be gold, and the Maori guy wanted to be blood. But I guess gold or blood works for either side, right? Then you roll your 3rd card, and, see, 3rd there. So the ninja gains the initiative. I think there's an advantage thing he has with his card where he can move faster with 1 action. So he's going to be catching up to that ninja pretty quick. The ninja, when he makes attack rolls with his weapon, he rolls 3 dice and chooses which one to use. So the ninja is actually really hard to do if you're not doing multiplayer, whereas people aren't getting distracted. He's a really good guy to smack people in the butt with. But yeah, I'll keep showing you like how the game goes, but that's generally how Anachronism was played. This game isn't too hard to find. It's hard to find exactly what you want, but it's not hard to find. I went and looked on eBay relatively recently, and there are packs kicking around. It's not a humongous game, so if you actually really like the idea of playing different guys from history, this could be the thing to do. My thoughts on it, it's a relic from the past, if you ask me. It's a game that I played with some insistency when it came out. I liked it, but it wasn't like going to like change my life. I had fun with a bunch of history-minded friends that were really into the various different historical aspects. So yeah, you can see technically the one guy does look better than the other. I mean, what does the ninja have in superiority to this guy? I mean, honestly speaking, this guy's just pretty boss. So you do come across some cards were better than others. They're also all foil. All these are bright, shiny, even without the protectors. There are foil cards. I don't think there were any flat cards. Some of them were somewhat flatter, like the Egyptians were relatively flat, and whereas the Greeks were especially shiny. By the way, that was a bright silver. But anyway, this is Anachronism, and it's very dead. You're not going to find more product produced for it. So if you find something and you want to play it, getting a starter set that comes with a little map that I just unfurled here is a good idea. Getting the let me show the rule books again. Starter sets come with a rule book. As you can see, I have my 2 rule books there. That is Anachronism, and it's a fun little game. Thanks very much for watching.